Right. So this would be my first video of a series of videos about my medical conditions and how I cope or not with them. And any comments or questions you may have are definitely welcome. I wanted to talk about something that I am experiencing at the moment, which is I'm in the middle of a flare. A flare is when your condition worsens. The symptoms get a lot worse than they usually are. People are different. My flares usually last between 1 and 4 days. I have had more severe flares. The first one I ever had lasted about 6 months. At the moment, I am experiencing one, which means I am unable to walk. I can show you, or try to show you, if you can see that sign there. That's about as far as my bathroom door is from my bed, and I still struggle to walk those few steps. So just to give you an idea, and it does get lonely and boring when I am, essentially bedridden for days on end. So I've decided to try to at least, share my experience. That way, if you're not familiar with the condition, you can become aware of what it is, and perhaps it will help you deal with somebody in your life that suffers from the condition. Or perhaps you're somebody who is a policymaker, a decision maker, who could make a difference and just needs to understand a little bit more about what this is and what it does to us. So again, I'm very happy to answer any questions you may have. Now, today's video, I've been having a flare for the past, I want to say a week, because today's Wednesday, and it actually started, or it got really, really bad on Thursday after a conference I attended for work. And but before that, I was already, sort of coming down with it. Things have been really stressful at work. I work full time, and it is a very demanding job. I am also trying to finish a PhD. Just finish writing up my dissertation. More on this later. But so this is where I am at the moment, if that makes sense. I'm in the middle of a flare. I'm in a lot of pain. At the moment, I'm very grateful. I'm having a very short, hopefully long, but from experience, a little respite from from the more severe pain. So that's why I am sort of able to sit up and talk to you guys. And well, in the middle of this flare, you get depressed. I think it's a natural thing to experience. You start questioning, because I don't know how long my flare will last. So I can't plan my life. I can't say, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do this or that. I have, since I got ill, this started in 2015, before I was diagnosed. And I have wasted so much money on, tickets to events I was never able to attend. Trips that were planned and canceled. Groupons for activities that I just wasn't up to doing on the day we had booked it for. So it is disappointing and frustrating, and also makes you feel a little like, You know, if this is going to be me from now on, and I'm just going to be in this bed, what good am I? So these are the questions I struggle with, and yeah, so that's how I've been feeling. You know, a lot of pain, a lot of tears, and a lot of frustration. You know, and when I'm in pain, I get very frustrated that I can't do simple things. And I'm talking about feeding myself, you know, using a fork and knife. I'm talking about, you know, simple things like opening a tub of pills. You know, I'm unable to open the container, or if I get the pills, they fall down. It's, you know, those times are really difficult. And I do understand that, you know, there is this sort of Calvinist work ethic that says you you are worth what you produce. Essentially, you are worth, you know, only as long as you can work. You're a worthy person, and I understand that that is a very problematic view of life, and you know, this is something I've been struggling with for some time. You know, the idea that I'm only lovable as long as I'm succeeding. So this has been a bit of a wake-up call for me to sort of think a bit more deeply about my priorities and what I can expect from the rest of my life, you know, however long or short it is. So, so in the middle of this flare, in the middle of all this depression and confusion, I remembered that the second, yeah, it is the second season of Queer Eye was was released by Netflix, and I have been waiting to watch it with my husband because he really likes it as well. But I was feeling really down, and I felt, you know, it might help me a little. And I don't know if those guys will ever watch this video, but you know, the work you do out there, creating bridges with, you know, between people, and the love you put into it, it is beyond inspiring. It is grounding, and I don't know how to thank you, because your series has, you know, the 45 minutes that an episode lasts, I am there with you. All of a sudden, I am not in my body. I am not in this pain. I am not in this prison. But I am there with you. And I feel your joy in helping people. And you know, I just watched the first episode of the second season. I can't stand anymore emotionally because I get very tired. So I only watched one episode. And I just felt, it might sound a little corny, but I felt healed. It took me back to this time I went to a church in Harlem in New York City. And, you know, just the way the pastor was talking about God, you know, a God full of love, not a God of hatred and, you know, division, not a God that's sort of taking attendance and being more concerned about following a book of rules than about, you know, justice and fairness and beauty and love more than anything else. It took me back to that day, and it was like this healing balm. I'm not exaggerating. This is really how I felt. You know, what you did for that lady was absolutely beautiful. And I, for one, feel like, in a way, you also touched me. And for that, I thank you. So I'm gonna stop now. I'm getting really tired, but yeah. So I know it's a bit of a stream of consciousness type of of video, and I apologize for that. But I wanted to have some sort of record of my experience and to share it with others, you know, however helpful it may be. So have a good night, and I hope to speak to you again soon. I'll have a look at questions or comments or anything later, and please do share it with your friends. You know, anyone you think might benefit from just listening to somebody else's experience and feeling also included and heard. You know what I mean? Feeling that you're not alone out there is a very lonely condition, like so many health conditions are. And you know, you're not alone. I am here. I am going through this as well, and you know, perhaps we can go through it together. So, as RuPaul says, everybody say love, and you know, be kind to each other. Good night.